Welcome to Stress Less Obsessed, the podcast. My name is Sophie Deans, and I'm here to bring you all things on self-care, self-development, as well as lifestyle tips and hacks to keep your life as simple and stress-free as possible. So let's make a start and join me on a journey of living a life with less stress. Welcome back. You're listening to Sophie, and I'm your host of the Stress Less Obsessed podcast. And today, this episode is about surrounding yourself with the right people and how, if you're not surrounding yourself with those right people, how it can affect your well-being and potentially even your mental health. So it's actually quite an important subject. And I think it's something that a lot of people tend to overlook because they fall into a crowd and it's too hard to basically separate themselves away from people that aren't necessarily in alignment with their own values, their own personality, and where they're going with in life. So I really wanted to talk a bit more on this topic because it's something that I reflected on a few years ago now into where I wanted to be in my life and looked at what I was getting from some of my relationships. And I found actually not much. I was given a lot, but I wasn't necessarily getting much back. And so that's something that I then made some changes, and actually I'm a much happier person now. So yeah, less stress when you are going to perhaps invitations, people have invited you, you feel like you have to go. When you don't feel that need to be around those types of people because maybe they're draining you, much less stress. You can spend your weekends doing things that you actually enjoy. So let's talk a bit more about this and let's dive straight in here. So first of all, I want you just to take a minute and think about the 5 people that you currently spend most of your time with. Okay, now I appreciate it might be a bit more than 5, perhaps it might be a bit less, but roughly the main people that you tend to spend most of your time with, who are they? I'll give you a moment. Just take a mental note. If you want to be really diligent, maybe you'll want to make a note on paper or on your phone, just so you've got a proper picture of who these people are. All right. Hopefully you have an idea of who these people are, and you're probably wondering why this is important. Well, let's just have a think about these people. How do you feel after spending time with them? So you might spend time with these people all together quite a lot of time, or perhaps you spend time with them individually. So I guess what I'm asking is, how do you feel after spending time engaging with that person? Okay, I mean, I'm hoping that these people have a positive impact on you and they make you feel happy, relaxed, supported. But I'm also kind of getting at, is there anyone in this inner circle of yours that actually takes your energy away? A little bit of a drainer. You come away feeling a little bit drained after engaging with them, or perhaps you find it a bit more of a challenge being around them. They might even be quite chaotic or stressful people in their own lives. And, you know, even things about like what type of person, what kind of hobbies do they have, the things they enjoy. Are they kind of things that align with you? Do they prioritize their health and well-being? You obviously do, because you're listening to a podcast and that's all about looking after yourself, improving yourself, and making yourself feel better. Do they do the same? Are they successful? These 5 people, are they successful people? Do you look up towards them, and do you feel motivated by them being in your life? Look, it has been said that we're a culmination of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. So, if you're spending time with negative, stressed, unhealthy people, guess what? You're probably going to have picked up on some of this yourself as well. Some of that negativity when you're hanging around them, some of the stress that they give off when they come to you and they're venting about how stressed they are, you're going to feel that as well. Just generally, just being exposed to that. If you're surrounding yourself and you're like, nope, my 5 people, they're positive, uplifting, extremely successful, they're motivated, guess what? You probably are too. Because when you surround yourself by these type of people, you'll be influenced and motivated just by their aura that will leak into your life too. So that's why we want to take a look and reflect at who are we hanging around with, basically. So we all know misery likes company. And yeah, I know what I want more of in my life, and that certainly isn't misery or negativity or Debbie Drainers. So yeah, in the last few years, actually, I have taken a good look at the people, not necessarily the top 5 people, but some, but just the people I surround myself with, and have been far more picky about the invitations I accept and how I expend my energy. And so I can guarantee that my inner circle is full of positive, successful, motivated people who care about their health and well-being. Not only have I made sure that I spend less time with drainers, no, you don't have to cut these people out completely, but I do make sure I limit my time with these drainers. And I certainly don't prioritize them like I do the people that genuinely build me up and make me feel good. Those people, they understand if I want to prioritize my well-being. If if I'm too tired one weekend and I actually just need some time to myself, I can be completely open and honest with the people that are on the same page as me, because they may also feel the same another time. Whereas people who aren't like that, are going to get quite upset if actually I've decided I don't want to hang out because my mental health comes first. Just an example. But yeah, it's great to have people that are on the same page as you. Like, I don't have to make excuses with the people that are on my wavelength. And if I don't want to expend unnecessary energy on something that doesn't completely light me up, these people in my inner circle completely understand. And the ones that don't aren't in my inner circle anymore. And yeah, I think it requires so much less effort spending time with these people, these friends. It's just effortless. And it makes life so much simpler, so much less stressful. And sometimes I feel like we have to really get a little bit more granular, get into the detail, and take a good look at who these people are. Sometimes we don't actually realize who the drainers are maybe we have fun sometimes with these people, but then, sometimes maybe, a lot of the rest of the time we don't, and they actually suck the energy out of our time that we spend with them. Do you ever notice that you hang around with people and you actually come away feeling tired, heavy, more negative after spending time with someone in particular? Maybe they just use you to just vent all their problems, which is fine. That's what friends are for, right? But not every time. And you just end up being a counselor for someone. So things like that, you might just want to ask yourself that question. You might have identified one or two people already. And that's not to say you want to say, hey, I can't spend any more time with you. Sorry, you're a drainer. But you might think, oh, I see this person every week. Maybe I might see them once a month instead. Okay? And see how you feel. Instead of spending that once a week with this person that you come away feeling quite heavy from, you actually maybe spend that once a week either by yourself, doing something you love, or spend it with someone that you come away feeling really uplifted, really motivated, influenced in a positive way, and see how that affects you and your mood. So for me, I'm an only child and fairly introverted. So that means I get my energy from spending time alone, taking life slowly, pottering around, doing creative pursuits in my own time. But I do love socializing too. But I need space to rebuild my energy. I know this. And so, complete hell for me is a weekend that is jam packed full of social commitments with zero downtime to relax and then zooming back into a working week. And for that reason, I have a very small inner circle of friends, which works really well for me. And that's because in the past I've had larger groups of friends where I've had more commitments, more social invitations, and it's not that I can't keep up with it, it's that I prioritize other things and I won't keep up with the people that don't necessarily light me up the most. So I'd rather spend time relaxing on the weekend and then have one social commitment with someone who really uplifts me than 4 or 5 social commitments and then no time to myself, and then with, say, acquaintances. But that's just my own needs. And, it's taken me quite a while to work that out. Before, I used to say yes to everything just because I was asked. I'd feel bad if I didn't want to go. And I guess that was all about asserting my boundaries and knowing what lights me up and not being afraid to say, actually, I'm not going to be able to come here, there, or the other, and not needing to give an excuse or lie. Just, I can't make it. And, my time is better spent elsewhere. Anyway, sorry, we're going into a bit about boundaries here. Now, I have another episode on boundaries if you are interested in hearing a bit more about that, because it is a really important subject. And yeah, I think this kind of leans into boundaries, but we're kind of just focusing here on, the people that you're actually spending time with. And I highly recommend that you listen to that boundaries episode. It's actually called Why You Should Start Saying No for People Pleasers. And that's episode number 11. So I highly recommend listening to that episode after this one. But yes, I have done a big spring clean of my friendship circle. And there have been many people who I feel like I gave a chance to, but maybe we just weren't in alignment with each other. We didn't have the same energy, and that's fine because I'm actually much happier and much more positive now that I've figured out where I can go to actually get energy back from the people that I spend time with, and rather than really feeling maybe a little resentful for going to certain places or coming back and feeling that me and the person I'm hanging around with we're not on the same page. And yeah, that can make you feel sad and bring you down. So I much rather spend time with people who get me and we get each other. And it just makes life so much easier. So, another little mini activity you might like to do either now or later is writing down the names of those 5 people and just summarize them. Like, what do you think about when you think of these individual people? Are they happy people? Do they complain a lot? Are they positive? Are they happy and upbeat? Are they miserable? Always have something wrong? Are they successful? Are they always trying new things? Are they adventurous? Or are they stagnant? Have they not really done much in the last few years? Are they envious of you? Or are they motivated? Are they people that complain about where they are but don't actually do anything about it? Or are they healthy and thriving? And then think about their health. Do they get sick often? Do they take care of themselves? These are all really important areas to think about. Something I heard recently was that you should never be the smartest person in the room. And if you are, you should change rooms. And that can work with a whole bunch of different descriptions. Like, you should never be the most successful person in the room. If you are, change rooms. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to aim for. That maybe if you are the smartest person in the room, then how are you going to continue learning and be influenced by even smarter people if you are not surrounding yourself with them? The same with success. If you have ambition, but everyone around you has no ambition at all, how are you going to learn? How are you going to move forward? And, you really do need to have an influence for growth. And it's like personal growth, professional growth. I found this thought so interesting. I think it's such a great concept that we should never limit ourselves. We should always be surrounding ourselves with people who are like where we want to go, where our goals are. This may sound harder than it actually is. And let me give you an example. Say everyone you know is an employee, but you decide you'd really love to start your own business. But you don't know anyone. You don't know anyone kind of personally who runs their own business. You don't know where to go. You don't know what you should do. Well, how can you begin to surround yourself with these types of people so you can, one, be motivated by being around them, two, maybe ask them questions so you actually can learn and put things into practice? Think outside the box. Okay, you don't have to go out there and go to conferences. You definitely could. But, let's do baby steps here. We have so much access to everything at our fingertips. through social media is a great spot. Have you seen how many Facebook groups there are? You can literally just browse your interests, your passions. You can search for entrepreneur groups and people in business, of your area of business. And by just signing up to these groups, you're already getting exposure then from these types of people. Hey, you can even direct message these people, and it's much less scary than if you were to say turn up at a conference and maybe you're scared, everyone else is in business and you're like, well, hey, I'm just here to learn. That can be really scary. So I think just utilizing the virtual space and being online, why not? That is just thinking outside the box, and you can already surround yourself a little bit more and get a little bit more exposure, a little bit more confidence, a bit more motivation, hear success stories. The same with if you're interested in getting fitter and healthier. None of your friends maybe are interested. And that could be a problem, because if you're going out to dinner when you're catching up with friends, but they want to go to fast food restaurants, that might be okay here and there, but you may find yourself not wanting to go out for dinner with these friends at some point. And then you may naturally end up wanting to surround yourself with people that are interested, so you can actually catch up by going for a run or going for a walk or going to a smoothie bar, or people that are more aligned to you. If that's where you want to go, you will get there eventually anyway, so why not start putting the paving stones in place now? What else could you do? I think, what's the saying? It's not what you do, it's who you know. Is that what it is? It's all about who you know. And yeah, to do with the Facebook group, obviously these people in the group are not, well, they might do eventually, but they're not going to be in your top 5 people who you hang around with. No, not straight away. But it's just about being mindful of who you're spending your current time with, analysing, adjusting, and then thinking about your goals in life and where you want to be, and trying to get in alignment with that. The thing is, when we surround ourselves with people, we begin to see this as normal. And I guess if you are surrounding yourself with highly successful people, you'll begin to realize, wow, this is possible. If they could do this, I could do this. If someone's super fit and healthy and happy, you're going to think, wow, that's so great. I want that. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are always complaining and miserable, have zero ambition, you're going to think, oh, well, they're not doing anything, so it's okay for me not to as well. And it all depends what you want out of life, and it all depends, on what's going to make you happy. Everything is normal, lots of things are normal, but what do you want to be your normal? By being around people that love their work, enjoy what they do, are appreciated and valued for the hard work that they do, and have a good balance of life and work. They prioritize self-care, hobbies, they can afford healthy foods to nourish them. These might be the types of people that you want to be influenced by. And these might be the type of people that you kind of want to strive to be living just like them. I think having a good hard look at where you are, or where these people are, and where you want to go will show you the light of what direction you should be going in to make yourself be living a purposeful life, to be living authentically, and to be living at your full potential, and so you're as happy as possible. I think the benefits of being around the people you really, truly, thoughtfully want to be around, being around them can really help to propel your personal growth and boost your confidence. They can help you to accomplish this too. And this all will enhance your overall well-being and optimize your life and the way you live it. As you take an interest and become more aware in the type of lifestyle you want and not settling for where you're at, and having like a supportive network that's going to enable you to do that and get there. Like, life isn't perfect. We can't all have the perfect friendship group. You know, it just doesn't happen. Life is not perfect, but we can certainly at least make a start at pulling away the odd person that really we come away and we complain about them. Oh, I saw so and so today. All they did was moan, blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe you don't see that person as often and see how that makes you feel. Being around people that have the same interests as you, or at least will support you in your interests and lift you up, will mean that you actually have stronger connections to them. And connections and a sense of community is also really important in our happiness and living a fulfilling life. It's one of our core pillars. But that's really important, that we are spending time with people who we can connect strongly with. So, look, I feel like I've gone in all different directions here because it can be quite general. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what is going to make you feel fulfilled and happy in life. But I hope it's given you a bit of food for thought so you can go away and look at your life and who you are and where you want to go, and see if you can improve your mental space a bit more by actually consciously deciding who you want to spend time with, and decide if these people are helping you or hindering you. Okay, so as I said, you don't have to cut people out completely, but it might be a little bit of a wake up call to some people as to why they're not reaching their goals. When you take a little bit of a deeper look, take a magnifying glass on your inner circle, maybe that's why you're not reaching your health and fitness goals or your professional goals. Now, at the very least, if you don't take anything else away from this episode, just identify anyone who makes you feel worse when you are around them or have left them. And like I say, maybe you just need to spend a little less time with them. Okay? Now, if you don't know who these people are, maybe you need to join some social clubs to find out who, where there are people that are actually more in alignment with you, that build you up, make you feel good. So yeah, they could be like social clubs, fitness classes, even a book club, you know, whatever interests you. And this will not only benefit you and your mind and your mental health and your mood, it will benefit your goals and your happiness. So these all really help me to lighten my social load and prioritize the people that light me up. So socializing is no longer an effort, and I use my boundaries to enforce this. And I only accept invitations to things that I know will make me feel good and not drain me. And I hope you will learn to do that too. Look, I hope that helps, and I'd love to hear from you what you thought of this episode. And if you are already doing this, what actually did you recognize when you looked at your top 5 people? Any red flags? Please, please, please shoot me a comment if you can on the platform you're on, or DM me on Instagram at stresslessobsessed. And please don't forget to rate and review wherever you're listening to the podcast so I can get further reach and get out there into all of your ears, as many as possible. But until next time, thank you. Breathe and stress less. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, stresslessobsessed. And thanks for listening. Until next time, breathe and stress less.